1876. Istanbul. In just 3 months, 2 sultans fell, one dead under suspicious circumstances, the other stripped of his mind. The empire teetered on bankruptcy. The Balkans were burning. Russia waited at the border. In this chaos, a quiet, withdrawn prince of 34 took the throne. No one expected much from him. He would rule this empire alone for exactly 33 years. This is the story of Abdul Hamid II. So who was this man? He was born on the 21st of September, 1842. At age 10, he lost his mother to tuberculosis. From that day on, he withdrew into himself. No one at court gave him a chance. But in that quiet corner everyone overlooked, he was watching, learning. He traveled through Europe with his uncle, Sultan Abdul Aziz, Paris, London, Vienna. Unheard of for an Ottoman prince, he saw the power of the West with his own eyes, and he never forgot it. The 31st of August, 1876. Abdul Hamid takes the throne on one condition. He promised Midhat Pasha a constitution. On December 23rd, it was announced. Parliament opened. Everyone believed a new era had begun. But Abdul Hamid had other plans. Article 113 gave the Sultan the power to exile anyone he wished. And the first man exiled, the very man who wrote that constitution, Midhat Pasha himself. 1877. Russia declared war. What would go down in history as the War of '93 was an utter catastrophe for the Ottomans. The Russians attacked on 2 fronts from the Balkans and the Caucasus. At Plevna, Gazi Osman Pasha fought a legendary defense, but it wasn't enough. Russian forces advanced all the way to Yesilkoy, to the gates of Istanbul itself. The Sultan could see enemy campfires from his palace window. The empire suffered its heaviest defeat in history. And Abdul Hamid made his decision. Parliament was to blame. On the 14th of February, 1878, he shut it down. It would not reopen for 30 years. Abdul Hamid no longer trusted anyone. He abandoned Dolmabahce Palace and built himself a new center of power, Yıldız Palace. Perched on a hill, walled off, a self-contained world of its own. In 1880, he founded the Ottoman Empire's first institutional intelligence service, the Yıldız Intelligence Organization. Thousands of informants in every coffee house, every ferry, every street. Reports poured into the palace. Who said what? Who met with whom? Everything was recorded. Press censorship followed. Dissidents were either exiled or imprisoned. They called it the Age of Despotism. But that same man, in that same era, was rebuilding the empire from the ground up. This was Abdul Hamid's paradox. An oppressive regime, and at the same time, a massive drive toward modernization. The Hejaz Railway. From Istanbul to Medina, the Baghdad Railway. A telegraph network reaching every corner of the empire. The Agricultural Bank was founded. Schools of law, commerce, engineering, girls' schools, a poorhouse for the destitute, Sicily, Children's Hospital, and one of the largest photograph collections in the world, the Yıldız collection, with more than 36,000 images. Abdul Hamid governed his empire through photographs. Every picture, he said, is an idea, but no wall stands forever. Here's the great irony. The generation that would overthrow Abdul Hamid was raised in the very schools he built. Young officers, doctors, bureaucrats, they united under the banner of the Committee of Union and Progress. In 1908, the army rose up in Salonika. Unwilling to risk civil war, Abdul Hamid restored the constitution. After 30 years, Parliament reopened, but a year later, the March 31st incident erupted. The Action Army marched from Salonika to Istanbul, and on the 27th of April 1909, Abdul Hamid was deposed. 33 years on the throne over in a single night. He was exiled to Salonika, living under house arrest in a villa for 3 years. When Salonika fell during the Balkan Wars, he was brought back to Istanbul, to Beylerbeyi Palace. He spent his final years watching the Bosphorus from his window. A man who once ruled 3 continents now ruled a single room. He died on the 10th of February 1918, at the age of 75, never living to see the empire's final collapse. So how should he be remembered? To some, the Red Sultan, a symbol of oppression, censorship, and secret police. To others, the Great Khan, the last great statesman who held the empire together for 33 years. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between the two, in the shadows, just like his entire life. Tyrant, or the last man holding a dying empire together? Tell us in the comments. For more real Ottoman history, brought to life in photorealistic detail, subscribe and see you in the next story.